Hey, what is going on, Twintendo Nation? Hope you're having an awesome day. And no, you didn't look at the title or thumbnail wrong. We are talking about Generation 8 today, not Pokemon Let's Go and Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which we've kind of been hyping up around YouTube for the last couple of weeks, and then obviously we got the announcement last week. But we're going to go back to the topic of Generation 8 because we finally got our first details about the future of Pokemon and obviously Generation 8. So in an interview with Famitsu, which you guys might have heard of, if not, it's basically a Japanese magazine and they review a lot of the games I've talked about in the past about Pokemon reviews and how they're reviewed by Famitsu. So I bring them up quite a bit. So this magazine has an interview with Tsunekazu Ishihara. And this guy, if you don't know, is the Pokemon Company president, so he's kind of a big deal in terms of Pokemon. But he talks about in the interview that the late 2019 Pokemon game will be very different from Pokemon Let's Go, and it's not going to be an entry-level game. So for example, Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, it's no secret that this game isn't intended for experienced veteran players like myself and probably you watching it. It's made for obviously the Pokemon fan, the general Pokemon fan, but mainly to get those who have never really played Pokemon, who have only played Pokemon Go on their smartphone, to get a Nintendo Switch and jump into the world of Pokemon. I personally think it is a good move in terms of bringing, fans and younger players from smartphones to the Nintendo Switch, but at the same time I remember that just playing your first ever Pokemon game, no matter how hard it was one of the most exciting games and just kind of gaming experiences you could have as a kid. It is a challenge, especially if you've never played Pokemon before, but you learn from that challenge, and with the new games and the taking out battling and catching mechanics are all different, it is a bit weird that this is how they're going to get players into the game. But anyway, I digress. We're going to go back onto Generation 8. So they say it's going to have the same hands-on feel as before. So in terms of before, basically everything that's preceded to this point, so everything on a 3DS, the Nintendo DS, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, you name it, basically it's going to feel like a handheld game, and it's going to have better visual quality. So even though it is obviously on the Nintendo Switch, which is portable and obviously a home system console, they're going to try and aim and keep it more like a handheld game by the sounds of it, even though it is on the Nintendo Switch. So they kind of still want that same Pokemon feeling. So if you're expecting something like Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, something vastly different, it doesn't sound like that is going to be the case. Obviously we don't have gameplay, so it could be in some ways, but in terms of the way they're describing it, it sounds like it's going to be our typical Pokemon game to some degree. And they obviously say we want to provide a brand new game where you meet lots of new Pokemon, which is obviously confirming that it is Generation 8, which is no surprise. A lot of people were debating, is this going to be, the 2019 game? Is it going to be Generation 8? Is it going to be Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes? I would not expect Diamond and Pearl remakes, if they are going to happen, which I think they will, till 2020. I mean, they have to get Generation 8 out first before doing any other remakes. So to sum up this piece of news, basically, it's a new Pokemon game coming out 2019, as we know. It's due out the second half of 2019, which is basically, I guess, from this time next year onwards, so June onwards, which I think it will probably be a late release next year, but we'll obviously know about it probably around March or April like we normally do when we have that long build up to the Pokemon game. So we will probably get details soon, but we won't get the game until probably late next year. And it says it should please those who have played previous Pokemon games. As we know, it's going to be a similar format. Graphics will be improved over what we've seen in the series so far, which is not surprising after seeing Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. Personally, I think the graphics will be even better than those. They look really nice, but they also kind of have that child-friendly, non-realistic, well, not necessarily Pokemon's a realistic game in terms of graphics, but it seems to be a bit dumbed down in a way, so I expect big things for Pokemon Generation 8's graphics and models and stuff like that. And obviously it's a completely new game, it is Generation 8, and it'll include many new Pokemon. So for those who were disappointed about the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games, which I can completely understand why there will be some people who feel a bit disappointed, there is a new Pokemon game coming. It is Generation 8 and it is next year. So this is kind of like a short update video. Unfortunately, I don't have any more details, but I think once Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee have been released and there's been a bit of time after that, we will get news about Generation 8. We will have build up around early next year. I'm thinking around March or April like they usually do. And there'll just be a lot to look forward to, like there is with every other generation. But this generation in particular, I think is going to be the most exciting since Generation 6 with Pokemon X and Y, when we had like a massive change from like 2D to 3D models, and the community was just insanely hyped, and I think that's what it's going to be like for this generation. But anyway guys, if you did enjoy this short little update video about Generation 8, make sure to hit that like button down below. I've also got lots of videos planned for this week and the following week as well. I know my uploads haven't been as consistent as I would like, but if you do enjoy them and want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace!